Hey everybody, welcome to NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com. Thanks as always for watching. The road to WrestleMania continues to move forward. Last night's Raw was quite an eventful show. A lot of people talking about it. The Rock made his return. Got a lot of questions here about Raw and some other topics, so let's dive right in. Hey Aaron, love the videos. Two-part question for you. With Cena pointing out that The Rock had his promo written on his arm, was that really true because I couldn't tell? And if it is, did The Rock seem a little surprised and angry that Cena pointed it out? Well, first of all, yeah, there was some sort of writing on The Rock's arm, and a lot of people are questioning now, was there legit heat here between The Rock and John Cena? Did Cena do something that he wasn't supposed to do by pointing out that The Rock had writing on his arm? Jim Ross talked about on Twitter how there might be some legitimate heat between the two of them. So my opinion is that it was something planned. And the idea here is that they want you to believe that these two guys really do not like each other, and they're playing off real life tensions between the two. I don't think that that these guys really hate each other. Obviously, they are trying to build the feud and build the conflict between the two characters. And sometimes they do this in wrestling where they blur the lines between reality. They might take something like the fact that Rock left for Hollywood and just play up on that and make a big deal out of that. But it's a situation where they're trying to get you. This is working because people are really questioning whether this stuff is scripted or not. They're wondering if John Cena really went over the line by mentioning that, and that's exactly the reaction that WWE wants to get out of you, because they want you to think that these two guys legitimately hate each other and want to tear each other apart, because that's what's gonna sell WrestleMania and get all the pay-per-view buys. So that's what I think. And if Rock was really angry, I think he would have said a lot more than he did. So I think that tells you right there the fact that he stayed calm, cool, and collective and let Cena finish, and then The Rock did his little thing at the end. I think that tells you right there that that it was part of the show. Hey Aaron, Rock and Cena gets more and more intense, but for some reason I think the match itself will be a big disappointment. Do you feel this way, or do you think it's going to live up to the hype? I think it's going to be hard to be a disappointment because there's just so much interest in this match. When The Rock came out on Raw, the fans were... He didn't even have to do anything. He was just standing there, and the people were going crazy, and the crowd was so loud, and when Cena came out, the people were loud, some booing, some cheering, but the people are really emotionally invested in these two characters. So at WrestleMania 28, you're going to see crowd heat that you've probably never seen before. I mean, you think about Hogan and Rock, and this could very well eclipse that. I mean, it's going to be intense. And with all that energy, you know, the two wrestlers in the ring are going to have a lot to feed off of. And I think it's just going to be an amazing match. It's going to be very intense, and it's not going to be the greatest technical match, but it's going to be very exciting and very fun to watch. And the question is, how is it all going to end? What's the outcome going to be? But that's something we're going to have to wait and see. Is WWE supposed to be PG? Then what's been up with all the cursing lately? Is that a way to throw some Attitude Era in there? Well, keep in mind that PG doesn't mean that they have to be totally clean-cut like Disney quality, like rated G or something. PG just means that there's some parental guidance or whatever that you know, parents should be aware and let their kids know that there might be some questionable content with this program that they're watching. So the PG thing just means that there might be something that's inappropriate, but it's not something too extreme. So I mean, if somebody says bitch, that's not going to be considered you know, too extreme or TV-14 or whatever. So I mean, that's all there is there. I mean, just because it's PG doesn't mean they can have a cuss word every now and then. What is wrong with WWE films? Did you see that trailer for Bending the Rules with Edge? I understand that WWE doesn't want to spend $100+ million on A-list stars and a decent director. I guess they're going with quantity over quality. The big problem is that they do these movies and then they go on television and basically bury the movies. John Cena comes out and buries his own movie, and then they go ahead and keep making movies and expect people to keep watching them. So that's the problem right there. And like you said, the other problem is that they try to make the budget so low to produce these movies that you're not going to get any kind of quality whatsoever. I mean, you need a good script, you need a good cast, you need a good director, and when you go cheap on all this stuff, you're not going to have a good movie, so what's the point of making it? and they're not making it for art. They're making it to try to make a buck. But people are gonna see right through it, and unless you spend some money and get some quality people in there, people aren't just gonna. They're not gonna be interested. That's the way it is. Hey Aaron, big fan here. Do you think Big Show will be given a push at WrestleMania now that he'll most likely be facing Rhodes and end his WrestleMania drought? It's definitely looking like Big Show versus Cody Rhodes at this point. We saw the whole thing with Shaq go down where he said he was going to be at WrestleMania and then WWE said no, he wasn't. So, I mean, I don't know what the deal with that is. Perhaps Shaq is still going to be involved somehow, and they're just trying to keep it on the down low. But right now it's looking like Big Show versus Cody Rhodes. And I do think that Big Show, if it's Big Show versus Rhodes, I do think Big Show will come out on top. And they've really gone all out to make it seem like Big Show is never going to get a big win at WrestleMania. So, of course, I think that means that this will be the time that he finally gets his big win. And hopefully Rhodes doesn't come out of it looking too bad. But they got to make Big Show look strong, I think, with the way that they've been portraying him and showing all the losses, all the embarrassments. And I really think the Big Show needs to get a big win now. Hey, Aaron, just watched Raw, specifically The Rock's promo, and it's just not fair how much better he is than Cena. He is literally burying him. So my question is, after WrestleMania, even though I suspect he'll win, will John Cena ever be the same? Well, I think John Cena actually did fine for himself on Raw, and I did a poll on NoDQ, who did you think won the verbal battle, and Cena actually got more votes than The Rock. So I think it's a situation where WrestleMania, it's going to be Miami, it's going to be mostly hardcore fans, so there's almost no way that Cena's going to get cheered. But I think with a lot of the casual fans, I think Cena's coming off looking pretty good here, and I think he'll be okay after WrestleMania. Regardless of what happens, I think you still have that group of people that believe in Cena and are always going to be behind him. And I think WWE's doing a good job trying to make Cena come off like this guy that doesn't deserve to get all the heat that he's getting from some of the fans. I know it's scripted and all, but it pisses me off to see small guys be heel. I just can't take them seriously. What are your thoughts on small guys portraying heel characters? I'm fine with small guys being heels. The problem is that when you try to push them in a main event situation, it sometimes can be difficult to see them as a legitimate threat. And what ends up happening, you take a guy like The Miz or Daniel Bryan and you portray them as cowards, but I don't think it really works in a main event situation. When you have a main event heel, you want to have somebody who is really dominant, like you go back to like a Yokozuna or Triple H, a guy who you can really believe is a tough son of a bitch, and he cheats and all, but he's still really tough. And yeah, that's a problem with a guy like The Miz or Daniel Bryan. Now, you could always have Daniel Bryan be a submission expert and do all that, but yeah, with the size, he's always going to be seen as a guy who's not quite as tough as somebody who's 6'8" and 300 pounds and is, built like Hercules. Do you think the quality of promos in WWE have improved significantly over the past few weeks? And what do you think of the Punk and Jericho promo from this week? Even though Punk fumbled his lines a couple times, I thought it was great. I agree with you. CM Punk and Chris Jericho had a great promo on Raw, and they're really getting the build for WrestleMania in, and I thought it was really well done. Yeah, the promos are improving because you got WrestleMania coming up, and everyone's trying to sell the pay-per-view, and everything's going into high gear now. So this is the time of the year when WWE is usually at their peak in terms of the quality of the product, and I suspect we'll see more great promos over the next several weeks here because everyone wants to make WrestleMania as big as possible, and they're going to go all out in terms of the mic work to build up the show. Alright, that'll do it for this edition of NoDQ&A video. Thanks as always for watching. Make sure you subscribe, youtube.com/NoDQCAW. Spread the word. Tell a friend on Facebook, Twitter, whatever. And we'll see you next time.